guys, Josie on Real Estate. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. A lot of people think once they negotiate the sale of a home between the buyer and the seller, you're off the negotiating table. In most cases, that's true, but this depends on the home inspection, especially in our great state of New Jersey. Most residential real estate contracts today include a clause that gives the buyer a chance to hire a home inspector before closing the deal. Some people waive the home inspection. It's never recommended. A realtor will tell you that, unless you're a contractor. A home inspector is a licensed professional who's going to evaluate the subject property from top to bottom and identify any parts of the home that are out of code or in need of repair or replacement. So what happens after the home inspection now? The home inspector is going to provide the buyer with a detailed report which summarizes all their findings. Home inspection clauses allow a buyer to back out of the purchase without losing their deposit if the home inspection results are not to their satisfaction. If they still want the home buyer will usually request that the seller complete specific repairs or reduce the price. Negotiating after home inspection is expected with most real estate transactions, so you shouldn't hesitate to make requests if an inspection yields problems. Okay, how do I do that? Listen, if you're not sure how to negotiate after the home inspection, I got a few tips that are going to help you out. Number one, review the report with your agent. This is why I always say it's very important to hire an agent, especially a knowledgeable one. Once you receive the report from your home inspector, you send a copy to me, your real estate agent. Your agent, me, is going to have the experience in this area, and a good agent is going to make recommendations as to what repairs or concessions you should ask for. That's why we look over the contract and a few things we have our eye on, and most agents are going to be there during the home inspection. Please keep that in mind, at least I would. We're going to have a good sense of what the seller is going to be willing to do to complete the sale, because we've seen it before. Prioritize repairs by cost and severeness, okay? Now, a home inspection report is going to reveal issues both large and small. Critical issues such as faulty wiring or a leaky roof should take priority over minor issues. Make a list of the things you consider deal breakers. Things that you would absolutely walk away from. It's a long video. I need some coffee. I hope everybody's having a good day. I use my hands a lot. I'm Italian. If we're not talking with our hands, we're not talking. So I'm not going to try to fight it. I'm just going to go with it. Don't sweat the small stuff, guys, please. When it comes to minor issues, it's usually best to let most of them slide. Especially in the interest of closing the deal. Sellers typically refuse to address cosmetic issues, such as loose boards or chip paint, or any repair that costs less than $100, unless something is a building code violation, structural issue, or serious safety concern. Just plan to take care of it yourself after you buy the house. Remember, this small stuff. Request concessions for major items. So when it comes to serious concerns like sagging foundations, a crappy roof, malfunctioning HVAC systems, mold, you should seek some kind of concession from the seller. You can ask them to complete the repairs as a condition of closing the deal, but in many cases, the seller will reduce the sale price instead. It's just easier for them to go about getting estimates and hiring people. You might also consider asking for a cash credit at closing if your lender permits, in which case the seller will refund you part of the sale. Time is often of the essence for both parties in a real estate transaction. So getting a reduction in price to compensate the cost of repairs is often preferred by everybody. Get quotes from contractors. The next challenge is pinning down how much the repairs should cost. Home inspectors do not provide home repair estimates, okay? So you're going to need to get your own quotes from contractors to gauge how much you'll need if you agree to take a price reduction in lieu of the seller making repairs. You can share any quotes you receive with the seller to justify the amount of reduction or cash you request for the repairs. Another thing we got to do is really take the market into consideration. A lot of people don't think about that with the home inspection. The market's always a very big role in this whole real estate game. Are you shopping in a buyer's market or are you shopping in a seller's market? So if you're in a seller's market, you got to be really wary asking too much or being too nitpicky, because the seller received multiple offers. For example, then you don't have much leverage when asking for an abundance of repairs because there's other offers waiting, guys. We're still in that supply and demand road. You have to know what as is means. This is a big thing. A lot of people like, as is, fix this, fix this, fix this, Willie, fix this. As is, okay? Okay, so many sellers do list their houses as is, as I've said many times. Take this as a clear signal that the seller isn't interested in the hassle of making repairs themselves. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't ask for money off the contract price if significant issues are uncovered. Work on your poker face, guys. I have one for you. You need to have one for yourselves. Whenever you're in the presence of the seller's agent, try to keep talk of aspirations to a minimum. Let's give you an example. If you talk too much about all the renovations you plan on making, the listing agent is likely going to share that with the seller. The seller might be reluctant to provide much for repairs since they know you're planning to make all these upgrades. Well, why am I going to fix this kitchen cabinet if they're just going to come in and redo the kitchen? Shh. Walk through the house, look through the house, talk about it with me, your agent, whoever you're buying the house with. Go home, think about it. Don't say much in front of that seller's agent, guys. Okay, next. Be reasonable, okay? More often than not, you're going to get much of what you ask for as long as your requests are reasonable. After all, both you and the seller want to close this sale. Put yourself in the seller's shoes and consider what you would agree to if you were them. If your demands are unreasonable, they could refuse them altogether. When negotiating house price after inspection, your real estate agent should advise you on what would be considered too much to ask for. This is a little rough one. You got to know when to walk away too. It's very important. If you can't reach an agreement with the buyer regarding repairs, the home inspection contingency clause in your contract means that you could walk away from the deal and get your earnest money back. If a seller won't accommodate your repair requests to your satisfaction, then you really are likely better off finding a different home that meets your standards. What does all this mean, Joe? All right. The bottom line is negotiating after home inspection for repairs can be quite a crazy process. However, both parties may have an interest in coming together to an agreement. Make reasonable requests, be flexible around how concessions are made. If all else fails, you can back out of the deal. There's just a couple questions here. What's reasonable to ask for after a home inspection, okay? It's reasonable to ask the seller to make major repairs that address health, safety, structural issues, and building code violations. The seller may offer cash or a discount in lieu of making these repairs, okay? Cash is rare. Does a seller have to fix everything that comes up in a home inspection? The seller is under no obligation whatsoever to fix anything that comes up during a home inspection. However, they are often willing to make certain fixes so they don't lose the potential buyer. Negotiating after home inspection is important for buyers and sellers in order to come to an agreement that both parties are happy with. A lot of people say, should I be worried? What should I be worried about during a home inspection? This is what I'm going to leave you with. Some of the most serious issues that come up during a home inspection include electrical wiring, plumbing, foundations, mold, and roofing. This is what I have for you guys. The home inspection, a lot of people don't take all this stuff into consideration. I wanted to put it out there for you. I want to give you as much information as possible. Whether you're using me or you're using someone else, you need to feel confident in your real estate transaction. It's the biggest transaction you're ever going to make in your life. Have any questions? Ask me about real estate. Drop them in the comments. Thanks for watching. Always remember, looking to sell or buy, Joe Ciano is your guy. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day.